right, everybody, welcome back to Witham Family Farm. My name's Jake for those that are new here, and several of you have asked for equipment tour or project updates or whatever, however you want to put this. So this will be kind of a project update and equipment tour. So that's the way this will be. So first up here is my dad's 1974 Case 1070 mechanical shift, and we are still waiting on an injection pump for this thing, and we'll have the fuel system to basically go through. We have a lot of it tore apart already. There's still some things on the top side of the motor that we need to take care of, like a push rod. We still need to put one in and figure out whether there was a problem with the cam or whether they just stole it to make something else run. So this will be an ongoing project. It's not like needs to be done now. There's still a lot of things that need to be done on this thing. Everything is as far as cables is locked up, so it's all going to be needing new cables and everything like that. Just an ongoing project basically. But my dad's idea here with this 1070 being a mechanical shift is he wants it to make it look like these are twins, so to speak, where they're identical. You can't hardly tell them apart except for the being mechanical shift versus power shift. But this is my dad's 1974 power shift 1070. And this tractor has got a whole playlist on it on the channel here. And the main reason why right now it's in the shop is because of the alternator overcharging. So got it pulled off. That'll be another whole video here. That'll be a quick fix hopefully for us, and then we'll move on. But there's many things on the channel in a playlist of this tractor. Most recently, PTO, redoing it, doing the power shift in this one, and a lot of odds and ends and things like that throughout the channel history here. So if you're kind of curious, hit that playlist there. Next up is my dad's 05 Ram 1500. We done a Hemi swap basically on this truck. The reason why it's sitting in the shop once again is number one, has zero compression. We found that the timing had jumped a notch, so we're wondering if we're pretty sure that this is a non-tolerance engine, so we think that the piston slapped the valve in number one cylinder, but we're not totally sure on that. We haven't dug into this because hay got to be more important, but it'll be hopefully figured out here, and then get it back out the shop. So next up is my dad's Vermeer 605F. This one is actually older than mine. My dad bought this from a consignment auction, I think it was last year. And we redid the belts on this thing. We done a lot of different things. The gearbox was messed up in it as far as mounting, got that fixed. A couple bearings were out, we got all that fixed. And then we used it a little bit this year, hence why there's hay all over it. We ain't got it pulled back out of the shop and got it all cleaned off. But basically it was our backup baler for this year, which leads me to my 605F. This one is actually newer than that one. So his is 700s in serial numbers and mine's 999. So overall good baler. There's a playlist on this one, and I believe on that one on different things that we've done. Overall, this thing just come out of the field and got cleaned off and then set in here. But per usual, on both of them, it's getting to the point, especially on mine, where we're going to need to be doing new belts. Belts are not cheap, but that's another big project that we'll want to tackle before too long. And then right beside my baler is my dad's New Holland 479. This has been our #1 mower for 4 years now, something like that. And there's a playlist on this thing as well. Most recently, I pulled out the sickle out of this thing because I was going to change sections on the drive end. And when I pulled out the sickle, it was in a, you could say, almost U shape in the center. It was a definite curve to it. So haven't figured out what we want to do exactly. The sickles that we have extra are rivet on, and they're a pain in the butt to deal with. And the sickle that we had in this was all bolt on, which was very nice to deal with as far as changing anything. But like I said, there's a playlist on this thing. We've not much that we need to really do to this thing other than figure out a sickle and stick it back in, and it'll be ready to go for hay again. Next up is the family's 4010. This is a 1963, no, this is a 1961 John Deere 4010. There's a whole playlist on this thing. Overall, over the years, it has been a great tractor. The only thing that we're fighting is front tires, and tires are getting bad enough that we'll just have to put new front tires on it. So this past spring here, put new rears on this thing, set in the fenders. So overall, other than the rear main seal this year, once we got it figured out and the procedure right, we ain't had a bit of problem out of this. And we can just figure out some front tires, we'll be set. So overall, been a great tractor. The one thing that we'd love to do is to have a second remote, because it's a real pain in the butt, because as of right now, 1070 is our main tractor as far as two hydraulic remotes. So if we have, for instance, a breakdown, like the PTO going bad, well, it's a real pain to be flopping back and forth with the baler on remotes. So that would be something we'd love to find, is a secondary remote for this thing. I have seen some guys use some 20 series and stick in here. We'd like to keep with the 10 series, but it doesn't necessarily have to be, but we'd love to have a secondary remote on this thing. Overall, just been a great tractor. Lots of memories on this tractor for everybody in the family, and been on the farm for many years now. Next up is my 1976 Case 1570, and yes, you heard me right, 1976. There's many videos of me saying that's a 77, and that's not right. The serial numbers, I went back and looked at my serial numbers and realized that it was wrong. So we just have a 76. So the big thing with this thing is that it is most likely need an engine overhaul. And the reason why I say that is that it's putting water into the crankcase. Now, there might be a few things that could cause that other than being a cracked sleeve. We have not investigated. I would love to, but I just haven't had the time to. But it'd be one of those things that I would love to get running again. It'd be nice to run one of the balers with this tractor, but it being small thousand, we're just putting along with this thing. And probably wouldn't be using much fuel, but it's a lot harder on things to be that way. My goal is to get this thing back going. It'll run right now, but I don't want to run it for very long because there's no water in this thing at all. So it'd be good to get it fired up and move it right over to the concrete. One thing that you'd be thinking is, well, why don't you just bite the bullet and do it? And that's because I don't have much money right now. We are have a small growing family, so that's been kind of the forefront here as of lately. I've toyed around with the idea of putting it out there, of doing a GoFundMe or something of that nature to kind of help out with the expenses, especially if you guys want to see a video on a series on this, on how to redo the motor on it or whatever. But I haven't done anything with that. Next up is my brother Josh's Case 400. I don't remember what year this thing is exactly. I would hate to tell you a year and then be wrong. My brother bought this from my grandpa's auction, so my grandpa had it before him. We believe that the rings are stuck in this thing back in 21, 22, somewhere right in there. We were trying to get this thing going, and once it warmed up, well, it seemed like it got worse. So haven't had much time. Of course, this being my brother's tractor, it's kind of his thing, and he's kind of gotten busy with life and not done much with it in a couple years. So I don't think it'll take much to get it going, but if anything, it could need a rebuild, and we don't know it. I don't know. I don't think it does. I think rings get freed up, it'll run solid again. That's the whole reason why it got parked in the first place, is because the 3-point got busted on it. And my grandpa quit, he had a pull behind sprayer, and he kind of quit spraying with the pull behind sprayer, and therefore it kind of sat around. So next up is my brother Jason's farm truck back here. This was bought brand new by my grandpa, and now my brother has it, and it's a project. Pretty sure that the motor will need to be pulled out and redone, and then it'll probably get patinaed and cleaned up, and be a solid little truck going back and forth around on the farm and whatnot. Next up is my dad's Gale grinder mixer, and he bought it from my grandpa's auction, and it got parked back into the shed, and we haven't used it anyways. Ain't had enough corn around to be for a need to grind it, but my grandpa bought that brand new. I don't know what year it is or anything like that, but it's just sitting in the background here in the shed, and when we get to a point where we need a lot more grinding capacity or ground corn or anything like that, well, we'll be using it. Next up is my brother Josh's auger wagon. This is a Case. He got it for little to no money, if I remember right, and it's sat here in the shed, and he's wanting to redo it to be able to do a basically mobile feed wagon, basically, and hasn't gotten around to doing that. So I don't know a year or anything like that. I would assume that it's probably 60s if I had a guess at it. But all right, next thing out here is my dad's 12-wheel rake. It's been several projects, basically. I don't know if I have a playlist on this. I may or may not, but basically we've redone the pivoting as far as the main frames going into here. That was a big project before a hay season. And then one of our more recent projects has been this locking mechanism to hold the wings up. Of course, brand new wheels when we did the main frame setup in here, stiffening everything up in here. And then the next thing that we need to do is rebuild a couple of cylinders on this thing. So that is the next item on the list for this thing. This side is real obvious that it needs done because it's leaking out the end. This one, we believe that it's leaking internally, and the reason why we say that is because this year we redid the thermal valves inside hydraulic valves on the 1070, and this one still continues to fall compared to when we have it hooked to the baler. It doesn't fall like it used to. It just slowly migrates very, very, very slowly down. So we still need to believe that we need to redo the valve on the remote valves on the 1070, but that's a whole nother thing. Next thing out here is gonna be my case 416-208 plow, what we have found out anyways. I bought this here this spring for $400, and it come home and sat right here. My dad's got a couple of four deals to help flip over right there at the knees basically, and haven't gotten this thing out into the ground, but my hope is that this will go perfect behind one of the 1070s, and it'll probably do better than my dad's 5-bottom plow that it's up at his place. So overall, ain't used it, so there's not any plans right now to do anything with it other than when it gets to the case year for the Power of the Past. Most likely it's going to town and be a part of the Power of the Past. So that is everything here. There is another shed here, but that's neighbor rents this out, so that's all his stuff. So that's not ours. So anyways, I'll run up to my parents' house and we'll continue from there. All right, made it up to my parents' place here. Next up is my dad's 5-bottom JR or JH case plow, and my dad bought this from my grandpa's auction and used it on the garden here and there past couple years. Not much to say about it. It just sits here and waits. Next thing over here is my brother Josh's John Deere 3-bottom plow, and it got used earlier this year to do his garden, and then parked right back here. And then this over here is my dad's Case 870. We have not confirmed a year because the data plate is gone. It's got corner glass. The glass in it is not rounded, it is to a point. So we believe that it's going to be one of the earlier ones, but not any older than 69, because this has a fiberglass nose on it. So we know this one's an early one. We just don't know exactly what year. Big thing with this thing is it is needing an engine overhaul. It needs a front end overhaul. The loader needs worked over. It's got this extended nonsense on the bucket, and it needs really cut off and put back to normal way it was. Someone's really abused this tractor, but my dad bought this from my great uncle's auction, and we used it for a couple years. It was kind of a bear to drive around because when you back up, the front end just wanted to plow. So engine went kaput in it, it went kaboom, but nothing went through a block. So we just need to work this thing over and get the loader off and get it into the shop and just work the thing over. It's got a good strong rear end in it as far as power shift and everything. It's got the old case ends, so there's a few things. It's got brand new tires on the back, but rims are not that great, so we need to get a tube into it. But it's a future project. It's just seems like when we say, hey, we're gonna do it this year, we either have problems with the tractor or something else comes up. So that is most likely going to come up next as far as when that mechanical shift comes out of the shop. It's going to go into the shop, hopefully, and we'll get that thing rebuilt as far as the motor. Next up is my dad's 1975 Case 2470, and also he bought it from my great uncle's auction, which had originally bought it from my grandpa. My grandpa bought it used. My dad spent a lot of time in this tractor, so my dad bought it when it came up for auction at my great uncle's auction. So the idea with this one is we want to get it going enough to be able to, when the case year comes, is to drive it down to the Power of the Past and drive it through the parade. We'd like to redo this tractor. It's currently two-wheel drive because in the cab the front axle kind of fell apart and it's sitting there, so the drive shaft is out of it and the that piece is out of the front end. So the idea is here eventually that we'll get this thing going just enough to take it down to the Power of the Past. It needs all the cables and everything, because last time this thing was running and moving anywhere, the cables were really stiff in this thing. The four-wheel drive cables, as far as crab steering, are all messed up. The brackets to be able to hold the cables are broke. Some of them are broke, and just it needs some help. And eventually we'll show it some love, and it'll go down to a Power of the Past, hopefully, when the case year comes. Next up is my dad's 7-shank V-Ripper. It got bought here this last spring. It's a Case 511, if I remember right. Back of it will say here, no, 513. And it come home on the back of that Alice after getting pulled off of the trailer, and it's sat there since. Next up is the International 470 disc, hiding here in the weeds. It gets pulled out every spring and fall to do the garden, and then it goes right back to its hole. Next up is the John Deere manure spreader that needs a whole new floor and sides. This will be a upcoming project. Dad's got all the stuff down there in the shop for redoing the sides of this thing and the floor. So that'll be the next more upcoming project here, hopefully. And then we'll haul the big massive manure pile. This is my dad's first 605F baler. This one has been used and abused, and what I mean by that, this baler was overstuffed, so the tensioner arm rode in one of the rollers real hard, and you can see it in the tensioner. It's now the parts baler, so a lot of things have come off of this thing to make a couple of other balers run. There is the tensioner arm all wore out. Overall, it was a baler that would roll up hay. Other than that, if it was anything stemmy, small like that, it just spit it right back out. It didn't really pick it up. But it's used, been pulled apart. We'll continue pulling stuff apart on it, and then eventually it'll go down the scrap road. Next up is the hay trailer. Yeah, it's a hay trailer. We haul hay with it. Not much else to say about it. And then the gooseneck cattle trailer. It gets used every time the cows come or go to pasture and then back home. All right, next thing up here, hiding in the weeds here, is my dad's 1970 Alice Chalmers 190 XT Series 3. And the whole reason why it's sitting here in the weeds is because the motor is locked up in it. My dad was feeding hay one year, I think it was 19, and it was just sitting there idling, and it just stopped. So the motor is locked up on it. A couple years ago, I took the time and pulled the hydraulic pump off of it just to see if it was the hydraulic pump, because before it quit, we'd had some hydraulic issues, but that was not the case. The idea here is that one of these days we'll get it back going again. We know of a source for a engine for this thing, and the idea is one of these times here we'll get that motor bought, and hopefully we'll put it into this tractor. Another thing that needs to be done is the front end needs to be rebuilt on the thing. It tends to wander, but overall that's a really fun tractor. Even though I'm not particularly an Alice guy, this tractor is definitely a lot of fun, and I think a lot of it has to do with that it has a turbo, but overall that's no more than what my dad paid for it. It's been a decent tractor up until it quit. So the idea is we'll get it going, and then that'll be a good option for raking or baling or mowing, whatever. It's an all-around good tractor that way. So as far as equipment, that is it out here. We do have one more thing sitting in the barn here. All right, excuse the mess of the barn, but this is a New Holland 270 Hayliner, and this was bought brand new by my great grandpa, and got used for a lot of hay. And then my grandpa ended up buying a big ground baler, and so square bales kind of went away, and this got kicked down the road to a guy not too far away from here, and he used it for a while, and then it got left outside and just sat for many years. And then my dad was able to talk the guy out of it, and he brought it back home. We used it quite a few years there before my dad got the big ground baler, and we done a lot of alfalfa bales with this thing right out north out here. And last time this thing got used was in 2019, so hence why it's been kind of a catch-all in here in the barn. Last thing that it did was brome hay, so I did forget that there's some things way up back, so I'm gonna make my way that direction, and I'll bring you back then. All right, made it back to the back here. First up here is a Case 4 bottom plow. If I remember right, yeah, part of it is right here that it needs to be put back together. It's green. That's about it. I don't know a year range or anything like that. Back there is a harrow for what would be this international Vibrashank field cultivator. Depends on where you're from in the country, but 3-point mounted, so it's not had a lot of acres through it. The reason why my dad bought it is because a lot of the shanks on it were not that wore or that bad, so got bought, and every once in a while that goes over the garden. Another Case plow that's in pieces as far as parts. An old pull type combine that was modified to be a grain storage, basically. The old Chevy pickup, that's another thing of the family's that's just been accumulated back here. Here's another Case 4 bottom plow. It's got pieces missing and a broken moldboard. I don't remember seeing a year or anything like this on this one, but this is a New Holland 469 It's got a bad wobble box, so the bottom bearing won't stay in it, and it knocks out the bushing. Looks like a spray plane's going over right now, going through the trees right over there, making all kinds of racket. The idea here with the 469 is we want to pull the wobble box off of it. We got our machinist friend that hopefully could fix this up as far as the wraparound piece there and getting a bearing that'll hold in it. And then we'll have 2 mowers. That's the hope anyways. We're hoping that maybe we'll have enough tractors here that we can have 2 people mowing and then someone raking and 2 people baling. So make things go easier that way. So maybe one of these days we'll have 2 mowers going. Next up is not much left of it. The original 479 that my dad got. And as you can tell, the reel is not straight going across. Had the bottom pieces that go to the main frame bend real bad in it, and in the process of trying to fix on that, well, it got pulled on in the center of the reel and it bent the reel, and that's just a sore story. So that's that. So there ain't much left of that. Got a case rear mounted sickle bar mower. Nature's been trying to claim it for quite a while. I'd like to get it up and out of the ground and behind the VAC, which we'll get to that here in a minute. Some other odds and ends from throughout the years. Kraus chisel plow. It was bought from my great uncle's auction and come back in here and sat. It's one of those things that hopefully will be used at some point or another. And then here's the original mainframe from the 479 that is down there in the shed and is our main workhorse as far as mowing. I would like to hopefully one of these times pull all this apart where this is all bent, and I would like to redo it. I'm currently going through welding school part-time, so hopefully I can get to a point where be able to work this mainframe over, and we'll have a backup mainframe just in case something happens. But I believe that the mainframe in the 479 and 469s are the same, so we'll have a backup just in case something happens. So that's basically it from this little cove. I will move across and show you the VAC. So under all this nature is a 1952 case VAC, and this is one of 2 of the first original that my great grandpa got. We don't know which one for sure, because I'm pretty sure that serial numbers did not get documented as to which one was gotten first. So it has a rear mounted cultivator on the back of it, row cultivator, and for a good number of years now this thing has sat outside, and I'm sure about everything in it is locked up. We would love to see this thing going, but honestly we don't think that it'll be worth the headache. So we haven't done anything with it to know whether it's actually locked up or anything fully, but the shifter boot is basically almost all gone, so that tells us that there's probably been water in the transmission for a good number of years now. There's been a can over the exhaust, but you just don't know with it sitting outside. I'm sure that the cylinder walls are just surface stress. So it is what it is. So as far as that is an equipment tour or project tour, however you want to put it. And so that is that. I do apologize that it's just me rambling, but maybe y'all are interested in something like this. So like I said and keep saying, is there's plenty of projects around, and if y'all want to stick around and see some of them, well, hit that subscribe button, make sure you hit the like button, and we know a lot of you are case guys, so pass along to you case guys, friends, family, whatever. It'll help us out, and we know what y'all are interested in. And granted, we do have a couple of oddballs here and there that we'll continue to use because they mean something to us, so we'll just keep using them or get them going, one or the other. So anyways, with that, I just want to say thank you. It sure does mean a lot, especially if you got all the way to this point with me just rambling about things. And we'll see where this all takes us. It's been 4 years now being on YouTube full time, or not full time, but doing videos more full time. And we'll see where this thing goes. With that, I guess we'll catch y'all on the next one.